Welcome to the Press Box, your total sports platform. I'm your host, C. Will. Today we have a terrific show planned for you. We're going to go ahead and finish up our predictions for the rest of the games posted mostly by the top 25. We're going to put our predictions in. We have several other good games to break down and dissect. We looked at the SEC conference initially, and I did promise to go ahead and actually make another video. So here it is, and without further ado, we'll dive right in. But before we do, um, make sure that you go ahead and give us a like to let us know that you appreciate what we're doing. Um, and feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to chime in. Feel free to give your opinion. This is an open platform, and I always encourage all my viewers to chime in and make yourself comfortable. And go ahead and hit subscribe because that way you'll be able to, see everything that we put out as we drop. So go ahead and give us a like, thumbs up, and we'll go ahead and proceed. So the first game that we're going to look at tomorrow, um, I have Rutgers in Michigan. Rutgers is going on the road. They're 3-0. So is Michigan. Michigan really hasn't been looking that impressive to start the season, playing inferior opponents and not covering the spread. They're actually 0-3 against the spread as a favorite. The number is 24, and Rutgers is 3-0 as a favorite and has played a little bit better of a schedule. Um, the number is 24. I know that Jim Harbaugh has been, he was suspended. Maybe that has something to do with it. Um, but nonetheless, a quite high number, especially against a team that's actually performing against the spread. So we'll take those 24 points, picking Michigan to win, but definitely not by more than 24. The next game that I will make a game prediction on is Florida State against Clemson. Florida State comes in 3-0, defeating LSU in week one. Number five, LSU was number five at the time, so they're definitely coming in with a lot of people definitely backing them. Clemson comes in at 2-1 because they lost week one to Duke, but after that, they have won two in a row and have been looking impressive, especially at home. Clemson has won seven straight in this matchup and four straight at home. Last year, they won by a score of 34-28 at Florida State. And the last game in 2021 at home, they won 30-20, and they were a 9.5 point favorite. This year, they got Florida State as a -2 favorite on the road when Clemson has won seven straight. So I'll be leaning to Clemson on that and as a straight up win. So I like Clemson to not only cover the 2 points, but to win outright. Oklahoma and Cincinnati. Oklahoma is 3-0, and they're 3-0 against the spread as a favorite. Um, they have basically been at home for those three games, um, and this is their first true road game. So it'll be interesting to see how they perform. Um, Cincinnati is 2-1, coming off a tough loss in their last game. Um, so they'll be definitely ready to play Oklahoma the -14. This is actually the first matchup between these teams with Cincinnati joining the Big 12 Conference. So we don't have any historical data. Um, all we have is data based on right now. And based on what I see, um, Cincinnati really hasn't played anybody to let me know that they can actually cover that number. Oklahoma It's been blowing everybody out. So I probably would take Oklahoma in those 14 points. Then we have the big game, one of the big games of the day, Colorado Buffaloes, Coach Prime's Colorado Buffaloes against Oregon. Oregon is a 21-point favorite. Oregon really has had a modest schedule. Colorado did go on the road in week one as a 23-point favorite and upset TCU outright. Um, Jeff Sagarin actually has Colorado, even though they're ranked in the top 20, as a power ranking of 69. So that either tells me that either Jeff Sagarin has it wrong or the AP press has Colorado vastly overrated. I don't know yet. I don't know, but I know the number of 21 is a high number. The last game last year, I know Coach Prime wasn't there, so most would probably consider this to be irrelevant. 49-10 last year. Um, Oregon has won the last three. They won by 39 last year, but again, that was before Coach Prime. So Travis Hunter is not playing. Travis Hunter is arguably the best athlete on the team, playing both sides of the field and probably one of Shadir Sanders' top target. So he'll be missing a target. That's tough to call. I mean, it's tough to go against um, Colorado. Oregon has been covering the number this year. They're 3-0 against the spread. Colorado is 1-0 as an underdog. The game last week, Colorado clearly overlooked uh, Colorado State. Colorado State is not that good. I think that this week Colorado will be more humble, playing against a far better team, and I expect for them to cover that 21 points. I do expect for Oregon to win outright, but I do expect it to be a much closer game than what Vegas has at 21. Then we have UCLA and Utah. UCLA is 3-0 straight up. This is their first true road game. No, it's not. This is their first road game against a Power Five team. They went to San Diego State and they was able to win big there. They played Coastal Carolina and then North Carolina Central, so not much of a test. Utah has played Florida and they beat them soundly. Utah also has played Baylor, so they played two Power Five teams versus UCLA only playing hasn't played a Power Five team. Last year, UCLA won at home as an underdog, but Utah has won 5 out of the last 6. In the last game in Utah in 2021, Utah won 44-24, and they were a 6.5 point favorite. They've won the last 3 at home, so I think I'll go with history a little bit, and I will take Utah to win, and not only win, but to win by that number in a revenge situation. So then we'll move to Oregon State and Washington State. Both of those teams are ranked, I believe. Oregon State comes in 3-0. So does Washington State at 3-0. Washington State has already won as a home underdog by upsetting Wisconsin this year. Oregon State pretty much has had a soft schedule, playing 2 low mid majors. They did win the last game that they played last year that took place at Oregon State by a score of 24-10. Washington State is 4-0 in their last 4 games at home against Washington State. Washington State is a 3-point underdog this year. And again, like I said, they played a tougher schedule because they upsetted Wisconsin, who was a ranked team this year. They won the last 4 at home against Oregon State, the team that they're playing tomorrow. So I think I will take Washington State for the win and to cover those 3 points, +3 Washington State and the straight up. Texas and Baylor. Texas is 3-0, but they have not covered as a favorite all year. Um, they did cover their game against Alabama as an underdog, but this is a favorite game for them. Baylor is 1-2 this year. and they didn't cover as an underdog against Utah. So, and they lost at home to a low mid-major Texas State and couldn't cover against Long Island. Two losses and the win is against the FCS. I have no faith in Baylor. Um, uh, I don't. Texas, though, they haven't really showed up as far as like covering the number, but they have been steady, winning handily against Rice, against Alabama, and then Wyoming, even though they kind of had a little hangover. I don't expect for them to have a hangover this week because they already had the hangover last week against uh, Wyoming after they upset Alabama. So I expect for Texas to jump all over Baylor. This looked like a different Baylor team, and I'll take Texas to win, and I'll take those 14 points. Okay, then we have let's see. Yes. So then we have Ohio State and Notre Dame. Ohio State is 3-0 coming into this game, but they really haven't been covering as a favorite. Notre Dame is also 3-0, and they have been covering as a favorite. This is the first game all year that they've been an underdog. Notre Dame, um, both teams pretty much have been having a light schedule. I think that NC State is a win, was a win for Notre Dame, and is the best opponent between both teams. This is a home and home series. Ohio State won the last meeting last year at home, 21-10. They were favored by 17. This is a revenge situation. We've seen Ohio State struggle on the road this year in week 1 against Indiana, who has a power ranking of 83. Then they play FCS, Youngstown State, and then Western Kentucky. So I'm not sold on Ohio State. I know that Notre Dame is good. I know that they're at home and they're getting those 3 points. So give me those 3 points, and I will take Notre Dame in a straight up win. Then we have Iowa against Penn State. Penn State is 3-0. So is Iowa. Iowa has yet to be an underdog this year, but they've been covering pretty good as the favorite. Okay, Penn State has covered every game as well. Now these guys, they played last in 2021, and Iowa won the last meeting at home, and they played in 2020, and Iowa won the last game in 2020. So we have a revenge situation right now set up for Penn State. Penn State has looked very good at home, being 1-0 in conference play, so they have been tested. This is a revenge situation, and it's looking like I probably will take Penn State for the win and those 14 and a half points. And the last game that we're featuring is North Carolina versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is 1-2 straight up, and 1-2 against the spread. Lost 2 straight games. North Carolina is 3-0. They're 2-1 against the spread. North Carolina beat South Carolina and Minnesota for 2 quality Power 5 wins. Pittsburgh doesn't have a Power 5 win. They've only beat a FCS school. So tough challenge. North Carolina won the last game at home, 42-24. They were 7.5 point favorites, but Pittsburgh won the last game in 2021. So it'll be interesting to see how that game go. I think it'll be close. I think North Carolina will probably win a close game. So I will pick them to win. And those points, they just seem like a lot. North Carolina uh, did win as a 2.5 point favorite against South Carolina, but they haven't really been covering that number. They did cover at home last week against Minnesota, but um, on the road in a true road game in a venue that they lost last at, I don't know if I can take them by more than a touchdown. So I would just take them straight up to win, closer than the 7. So give me those points in that game, and North Carolina as the winner. So there you have it. We wrapped up the whole slate of games tomorrow. I just wanted to basically share with you guys the way that I see it, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this preview, this special preview of our predictions on the press box. And again, don't forget to hit the like button. Let us know what you think. Give us a comment, thumbs up, and most of all, don't forget to subscribe to us so you can get all of our content as we release it. So, without anything else, I'm going to go ahead and close out this episode. So, tune in for the next episode that we have coming up soon. And until the next time, take care.